Hello guys, and welcome to our first episode of our new podcast, The Vibe Check, with your host Katie Bergen
and Phoebe Cates. This week the theme of discussion is pet peeves and general rants.
Today we have with us our first guest,
Arthur Ez.
Yay!
Yay! Tell us a bit about yourself, Arthur.
I am 17 and I have some pets and I also have some pet peeves.
Whoa,
I'm ready to talk about them.
Damn, glad we got you on the show today. So first off, Arthur, tell us what is your favourite pet peeve? And first off, Arthur, tell us what is your biggest pet peeve?
My biggest pet peeve is people on any kind of social media who say things like someone talk or make convo or anything like that, just because if you are bored and you want to talk to someone, make the first move.
Oh, they're always being so indirect. They always have one person they want to actually speak to. They're like, no, anyone. We'll accept anyone. Like, no.
And like the thing about that is sometimes you also get like people you don't want to talk to.
Oh yeah. And then you have forced to make conversation.
I low-key feel attacked right now. Yeah, I am a culprit of doing this. I don't know.
What do you have to say for yourself?
I don't really aim it obviously sometimes I aim it towards like certain people, but sometimes I genuinely have no one to talk to and I'm genuinely so bored and I just want to talk to someone.
So then like message like someone that you're close to or something, like one of your mates, and be like, hey.
Yeah, but what if they're not responding?
That was a heavy car.
Yeah, Katie's one for not really checking her messages.
If I don't respond to you in like, I have a message on my phone that hasn't been opened in a week and I feel really bad. Oh, and then that girl, she messaged me. We were having like a full-on conversation and she messaged me and I didn't respond to her in like 3 weeks, so I just deleted our chat so she'd forget about it. Anyway, Phoebe, what is your biggest pet peeve?
My biggest pet peeve is when people spit in public for no reason. I just don't get what the point is. There can be someone walking down the road and they just spit. And the people have these habits of just spitting constantly. There's this one kid down my road and he spits every 5 seconds. What the fuck is wrong with you? How much saliva do you have in your mouth? How do you produce this amount of saliva? You know?
I've never seen anyone in like public, like on the street walking. I know that like sports players do it, but that's because like,
I understand
because when they're running about and everything and they generate a lot of spit. But like I've never seen anyone do it in like real life, I guess.
Really?
Like on the street.
No, I see that all the time. Whenever I'm walking down the street, someone will be walking in the opposite direction and they just randomly spit on the ground and it's like, what?
Someone spat on my shoe once.
Swallow it! Gosh!
Someone spat on my shoe once. My mum made them get down and clean it. That was a funny story. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, but another thing that annoys me, because spitting, there used to be an illness, I've forgotten what it's called. I think it's called like TP or something, I don't know what it's called, but people can actually die from it. Like the germs that are generated from the ground, that go up into the air, people can catch those diseases and die from it.
Right, this isn't the Black Plague, I don't think.
No. It was in like the 1980s, but it's starting to it's starting to come back. Yeah, it's starting to make a comeback with the amount of people that keep spitting. It's actually disgusting. I'm sorry, I don't like it. And people think it's funny because I will go at people that spit sometimes. They think it's funny to spit again.
Oh yeah, people like when you say something to them and it's like generally annoying you and they're like, haha. But what if I do it again? JK. Unless. Stop.
Yeah. So Katie, what's your biggest pet peeve?
My biggest pet peeve is women bringing down other women. Like, there's no need for it. There's enough slut shaming going on in the world from like older men. You don't have to take part in it by like subjecting your fellow women to it. Like, let them live their life. You know, I mean, nowadays there's like that classic meme of just like, oh my god, I'm so quirky, blah blah blah. And, like, I get it. It's funny. I used to think I was like that. So, like, I like making fun of people that used to act the way I do. But I think to a certain extent people take it too far because they're like, oh, everyone that dresses like an e-girl, they're all just trying to be e-girls. Oh my god, you're not quirky, blah blah blah. Just, like, let women do what they want. If they want to dress like an e-girl, let them dress like an e-girl. They're not trying to be quirky. They like that dress sense, so they're going to dress like it. So although it may be funny, I feel like it can be really detrimental to young girls thinking that everything they do is being judged. Like, oh, if you don't have sex, you're a prune. If you do, you're a slut. And if you dress like this, then you're not original. And if you don't, then you're just looking for attention. Like, gosh, let women do what they want to do.
Yeah, I think especially in this generation, because, like, in quotation marks, the cool and popular kids, they think they're so superior over everyone else. And, like, in sixth form now, we get to come in dressed however we want. It's completely free. Well, obviously not however we want. You can't come in bikinis and shit like that. But you can come in with any style you feel comfortable with. And you shouldn't, like, be judged by it. But people still judge.
Yeah.
Like, you see people looking at you funnily. You see people talking about you. And it's just, obviously not me, hopefully. We'll probably do somewhere, but not me. But, like, it's just, let them live their life.
Exactly. Let people wear what they want to wear.
Also, when girls fat shame other girls, that pisses me off.
Well, just fat shaming in general.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it, because there's a time and a place. Unless you're that person's doctor, or unless you're a family member that is genuinely, seriously concerned about someone's health. Like, I get it if they're morbidly obese and you're genuinely really concerned about their health. Maybe bring it up to them in private, but just going up to someone on the street and be like, okay, you're fat, is like...
yeah, just insulting people for no reason.
Or then, the other way around, people telling other people that they're too skinny. I mean, I've gotten that a lot. I've gotten people touching my shoulders or looking at my collarbones or, like, holding up my wrists and being like, oh my god, you're so tiny. Oh my god, you're just made of bones. Oh my god, I can see your bones. Like, yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. I can't. What do you want me to do about it?
Didn't need the update.
Oops, let me hide my bones. What are you gonna do?
How do you feel about it, Arthur?
Yeah, from a male perspective.
Yeah. Like, obviously, I think from a male perspective, I can't really comment on it, but...
I mean, you can still get, like, shamed as a male.
Yeah,
like,
you can.
But I think it is less... I think it's less prevalent sometimes between men. And I feel like, even though it is sort of, like, competitive sometimes, I think it's a lot more between women. And I think that's something that has been brought on by, like, media that men have created. So even though men do it less, you could say that they are partially to blame.
Yeah, I mean, I think when it comes to, like, shaming women, it mainly comes from a very sexual perspective. Like, oh, you're too fat or you're too thin, that doesn't make you desirable by men. Like, why is it always that doesn't, like, oh, you cut your hair like this, you're not going to be desired by men. I mean, I cut all my hair off in, like, year 9. Wasn't even thinking about getting into a relationship at year 9. And this one guy come up to me and he's like, you know, you'd be so much more attractive if your hair was longer. And I'm like, I don't care. Like, I did this for myself. Did I do it for you? Random dude who I'm not going to say your name? No. Also, you came to my house uninvited on Halloween and asked if I was home, and that made me really uncomfortable. Please don't do that.
If you know who you are.
At the ginger guy, you know who you are.
I think something I've seen a lot, and I think is a really good sort of, like, ground rule, is, like, the 5-minute rule. Which is, if someone can't change it within 5 minutes, then
don't tell them. Yeah, if it's something like, oh, your hair's out of place, or, oh, maybe it's something like, oh, your makeup's gotten a bit blotchy, you might want to get, like, one of those things that picks up oil. I don't know what I'm saying. Wait, blotching paper. Like,
no, I don't.
Okay, good. Sorry.
I watch some YouTube, like, makeup tutorials, even though I don't really wear makeup. But yeah, I've got, like, a blotching paper, something like that. But if it's something about someone's general body shape or their, like, general facial features, like going up to someone and being like, oh, I don't like your nose.
Yeah, I used to get a lot of hate for my teeth, because my teeth aren't the best. I got braces on now, guys. I'm fixing them.
No, I love them. Stop.
No.
People used to say things about my teeth which were really unnecessary. Like, I'm not going to be able to fix them. tomorrow. Like, what am I gonna do? Pull all my teeth out and come in with false ones like the day after? No.
Embody.
Although
all
you
grandmas.
could then throw your teeth at those people.
That's true.
You could keep it on a string.
Revenge at its
So you could
finest.
like throw it and then just like yo-yo it back.
Oh my god, I'll never forget when I was really young and I had a nightmare at my nan's house and I woke up and I couldn't sleep and I went to like get into her bed with her because I was so terrified. I kicked my granddad into the other room. And I woke up in the morning, I look on the bedside table and there's her false teeth. I've never been so scared in my life. I didn't know they exist, I was that young.
On the topic of this, old people, huh?
Old people.
Let's have a discussion.
Oh, okay.
Because wait, let's say this. Yeah, Arthur said he was 17, but for the reference, me and Phoebe are both 16. So
yeah, we're
this is
both
coming
quite
from
young 16s.
Yeah, this is coming from quite a young person's perspective.
Gen Z.
Yeah.
Z.
Gen Z. Sorry.
Gen Z.
So I'm very British.
Can I give my opinion on old people first?
It's
Because I
your
know
job
you
then.
two are going to counteract it.
Oh.
I genuinely love old people.
Wait, are you suggesting that me and Arthur are going to go off about old people?
Yes, I am. I love old people. Like, they're great. It depends though. Like, my nan, she's my inspiration. Like, she's the best person I've ever met. She is the best. And there's really cute old people down my road and they're really scared to ask for help when they need it, but obviously I give them help. And I don't know, just old people, they're just so cute. But there's some which are
Well,
devils.
yeah, I think that happens with like any demographic, really.
Yeah.
Any amount of people can be just the worst.
Babies.
I respect really old people though, because they've been through war and stuff and they've done a lot of stuff that we'd never be able to do now. And I kind of respect that. Like, if they're grumpy every now and then, let them be. They went through all sorts of shit that we've never
Yeah, but
been
then you
through.
get some old people saying stuff about teens our age, like, oh, you can't be depressed. You haven't been through war. Shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up, Beatrice. I don't care.
Listen, Wendy. Yeah, I get that. Like, my nan, I have a bad back and she says it's because I bend over and play video games too much. No.
Which is probably true to some extent, but it's
Yeah.
not the full story.
But she said this in exam season when I was revising. So, yeah, I know. It's just
It's. I think it's like.
they don't understand our generation really.
My nan, she's not homophobic either, but she doesn't believe bisexual people exist.
Yes,
And I am a bisexual person, so I have tried dropping hints left, right, and centre, and she's not picking up on them. Like, I've asked her before what her opinions were, because I didn't want to come out and be like, yo, Nan, what up, I'm bisexual, because I knew she'd be like, no. So I wanted to ask her first, and she was like, oh, they're just being greedy, they just need to pick a side. Oh, they're just closeted gays that are afraid to come out. So I remember dropping hints when I was in the car. I was like, oh, she is pretty. And my nan's like, yes. So when are you getting a boyfriend? And I'm like, no, stop. I was hanging out with my aunt and my uncle said something about gay people, and he referred to them as gay people. And I, like, because I was just sitting there being sarcastic, so I said under my breath, the gays. And my aunt was like, yes, the gays. And throughout the rest of the night, she just referred to them as the gays. And it was amazing.
The gays. Talking about different generations, what are your opinions on young children? No, this sounds really weird. Like, do you find them annoying?
What, like the new generation? I mean, we're part of the new generation, but I guess there is a generation below us.
Yeah, like I didn't grow up personally with tablets.
I mean, no, that's a lie.
Or
Like,
iPads.
We did grow up. I think.
I didn't have one until I was
No,
about 7.
you might not have had one, but like it was a thing. Like
It was, yeah.
I had an iPad when I didn't. My parents had an iPad when I was in like just started out secondary school, so like year 7, and I was like 11. So that's considered growing up with them because
Yeah.
I was young as hell.
I had an iPod when I was about 8, 9.
Oh.
An iPod Touch. Rest in peace, my iPod Touch got stolen at a care home by a carer.
Old people. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I was
Younger people.
yeah.
Younger than old people.
I'm kind of like concerned about the new generation because we've been brought up on like tablets and devices, and we don't know what they're gonna do to us in the long run. I remember one of our science teachers, he still goes here, and I'm not gonna drop names, but he said something about like phones and radiation, and how we should never hold, like, if we're having a conversation with someone over the phone, we should never hold it up to our ear because we don't know the long-term effects. And that kind of terrified me. Not because I ever talk to people over the phone, because I don't. I ignore people's calls. But we don't know the long-term effects of having a phone every single day in our hand 24/7, and that's kind of terrifying.
And I think like quite a recent thing was the sort of companies or like phone providers are going to start introducing like 5G to their phones and devices and stuff.
What's that?
Yeah, what does it do compared to 4G?
Well, it's like because
Faster?
it's faster, but that means it has shorter wavelength, which means it has to be more towers like around to transmit the signal because the wavelength is shorter, so they travel less distances on their own. But also because they have shorter wavelengths, it means they produce more radiation. So people holding phones connected to 5G in their hand will get a lot more radiation than people with say like 4G.
Talking about that, you know, they're saying the age when you die, the average age is getting higher and higher because of these new 5G and like the radiation. Do you think it's going to start lowering again?
We could genuinely have an epidemic of people dying because of this in the future, and we wouldn't even know right now.
No.
Because we could inevitably be destroying. I know everyone talks about like how we're destroying the planet, and we are, like, save the environment, save the turtles. But but at the end of the day, we could inevitably be destroying ourselves without even realizing it. And I mean, I'm not complaining. Like, kill me, you know, do it. Radiation, hit me up. But
no,
like,
don't radiation.
hey, radiation.
We kind of need
you
free.
Because then I'll have to hire another host. And that's not great.
Yeah, I'm not getting paid for this, by the way, so don't help.
Yeah, can you please like subscribe?
Hey,
to
we
our
have a
podcast?
Patreon. No, we don't. Let's earn some money. No, okay.
Alright.
My
Patreon.
No, but yeah, we could
We
inevitably
have a
be.
friend who's really ill.
We could inevitably be killing ourselves, and like we wouldn't know. Well, we could be like deteriorating like right before our eyes, and we wouldn't know.
I think. So I start off my sentences with I think.
You know.
I know.
I know.
But like, a lot of people, is saying like with terms of like global warming and things like that, it's like, oh, we're destroying the planet, which is like, it's not.
It's not
Really,
the whole truth.
because we're destroying the habitability of our planet.
It's like global warming is going to happen no matter what,
Yeah.
but it's going to go at a slower rate than what's currently
Yeah.
being.
We're destroying the animals' habitats. We're not destroying the planet.
Like,
really.
if we mess it up, the Earth will come back. It's just we might not be there when
Yeah.
it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like we're just gonna suddenly the world's gonna explode because of us. That's not what we're saying.
Sure.
It's just like, but I think older people also also on top of older people, they don't really seem to care about the environment as much as we do, and I think that's because they're gonna die quicker than we are. So they're like, I don't care, you know. I've already fucked it up. I've only got like 10 to 20 more years left on me. See ya.
Also, they're all like, back in our day, there was no pollution around, blah blah blah.
Which
And they
which wasn't true due to the like the industrial revolution. Yeah.
I think
Pollution's
I think that I think that happens with every generation. Like, even it might be about different things, but sort of every generation has back in my day,
Yeah.
like, because again it's like fear of change, and it's like, oh, things were better in my day, and like, yeah, but that was for you, and it might not be for like other people.
Yeah, I think for like older people, their thing is like climate change, but I think for people like my parents' age, like 40, 50-year-olds, it's more of like, back in my day the streets were safer,
Yeah.
which isn't actually true. It's a lot safer nowadays than it was back in like the 1950s and 70s. It's a lot safer just to walk down your street, but I think due to the fact that the media has grown and you can like hear news from around the world, you hear about these awful crimes and people are like, oh gosh, people are being killed so much more often, but that's just not the
I think
case.
it's like we only see the bad stuff.
The knife crime rate has gone up though, to be fair.
That's
like
true.
that has gone up, and it is
Well, yeah,
it is
that's
mainly to do
that's
with
a
our
localized.
generation.
That's a localized issue to London, though. Like,
Yeah, well,
places,
it's all over the world.
no, but
really.
places like Florida aren't dealing with knife crime as much. Places like America are dealing more with gun crime.
Yeah.
But we're not gonna.
we're not gonna.
Yo, I saw some crazy shit when I was in Florida.
We're not gonna go on to that tangent.
No, political. Nuh-uh. What is your opinion on star signs?
Oh, Katie, you have a strong opinion.
I want to know your guys' opinion, like honestly.
I don't think they're real.
Mm-hmm.
I can see when I read my star sign, my zodiac sign, I can see things that I can relate to, but I just think it's kind of a coincidence.
What, generalized?
Yeah.
I
don't.
Because if you like say like this star sign is kind, everyone's like if that's their star sign, everyone's gonna be like, oh yes I am, thank you.
I don't believe in it. I just think it's funny. Like the idea of it is just funny. Just reading them and watching people be so serious about it.
Bro, that's my answer. Get out.
I'm sorry, but it is.
I remember I've always said I don't believe in star signs, but I find it hilarious to make fun of them because everyone overreacts when you make fun of their star sign. Someone could be like, oh, I don't believe in my star sign, and you're like, oh, what star sign are you? And they could be like Aquarius, and you could be like, and they'd be like, oh, what did you say about my star sign? Don't come for my star sign.
I really like the idea of star signs. Like, your life is predetermined by something out in space, which...
Yeah, the constellations control your future.
Exactly. But also, like another pet peeve of mine is, and I'm sure everyone can relate to this, is people who say, oh, what's your star sign? And they say, like, oh, Virgo. And he was like,
me
we're
at
not going to
you.
get along. Alright, there's no need.
That's Katie.
Or people that are like, oh my god, it's Aries season, so I'm going to go off. Like,
oh, you're a Cancer. Oh, you're really fucking sad then, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, I probably know more about star signs than the average person, just because also back when I was in year 8 I was like obsessed with them, you know, like all those star sign accounts would be like, oh, would you find your star sign and we'll tell you what Riverdale character you are, and it's really dumb. Yeah, I was obsessed with those, and they also have like Instagram accounts filled with them, and I like, who would you be at a party, like, and I was like, me and my friends were obsessed with them, but I think as time has gone on I've seen the more like generally why people believe in them side, not just like the fun side. And I totally get why people believe in them. I have genuinely looked into this and spent a lot of time researching it, and I get it, why people believe in them. I personally don't fully believe in them. I kinda believe in them to an extent, but I don't believe that your whole life is determined. Like, I signed up to this website called like Tarot or something, and they keep sending me emails like, your constellation suggests that someone is about to reveal a big secret to you, and I'm like, go away.
Is it like that Bongo app? You know, when you text it with your location and your name, you have to pay like £2.50, and like say clue, and it tells you something about your life in quotation.
Oh yeah, because they're trying to predict your future, and they're like, someone's got a big crush on you. I'm like, okay, calm down. They send me that every week. Apparently someone has a big crush on me every single week. I am such a wanted woman. Yeah, so I know so I know a lot of like about star signs, and like I have my personal rankings of like star signs and stuff because I think it's fun, and I like talking to people about their star signs and stuff because I just think it's fun.
So what do you think about Leos then?
Well, oh wait, let's put this basis. Like, Arthur is a Virgo, and me and Phoebe are both Leos, except Phoebe's kind of like a Leo Cancer cusp, but she's a Leo.
Yeah.
Leos are the best.
Yeah.
We're narcissistic, and we are the best. Of course.
Of course we're gonna say that, we're narcissistic.
Of course, that's like one of our main traits, but Leos are the best.
But Virgos.
I don't have any. Virgos are alright. They're like mid-tier for me.
No,
Phoebe,
Arthur.
I can hear you tutting.
No. I like Arthur. Obviously, he's one of our best friends. Well, he's one of my best friends. I don't know about Kate.
Gotta bring the news to you.
No, Arthur. Yeah, he's a good friend of mine. He's helped me out through a lot. So, you know. I'm not gonna judge him based on his star sign.
Yeah, no, obviously I didn't. Like, the first thing I didn't say to him is, yo, what's your star sign, bro? And then when he was like Virgo, I'm like, oh, okay.
Can't be friends.
We can be friends, but only like mid-tier friends. You don't go any higher.
On the pyramid, you're not on the top triangle.
I'm looking for like this. I'm making a wanted ad. Hello, my future Sagittarius partner. I'm looking for you. Please come find me. I want you. We're destined to be together.
I feel like someone might fall in love with someone think that like, oh, I'm gonna marry this person.
And then they find out you're a Pisces. Call the wedding off.
You know,
I can't deal with this.
You know, on Snapchat when you have a crush on someone, then you see what your compatibility is.
See, I know enough about star signs. I don't have to know.
Oh,
But
she just did a hair flip, guys.
genuinely, I like sometimes I'm just curious and I'm sitting back and I'm like, I wonder what their star sign is. So I go onto their Snapchat. I'm like, oh, that explains a lot. I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
What do you think about pet peeves that other people may have pet peeves on? So like slow walkers, loud eaters, stuff like that.
I feel like people have a pet peeve against people that crave attention or like always or
Yeah.
and as someone that craves attention, I want to appreciate it. Could you back off? Could you let me live?
Stop looking at me while you say that.
No, I want the attention. Look at me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't appreciate it. Like, because I feel like when pet peeves are directed at you from other people, it can be a bit. Sometimes you don't even realize that you're doing like a pet peeve. Like if you chew loudly, you might not even realize it, and then
yeah.
you're constantly getting dirty looks from people.
Personally, from personal experience, people used to get annoyed with me. No, people do get annoyed with me when I get my braces tightened or braces on. Because when you get your braces tightened, it's really hard to eat. Arthur, you know about this. It is really hard to eat. You can't chew, really. So yeah, it's kind of hard to shut your mouth while you're eating, to be fair. So I kind of just do this. I kind of put my hand over my mouth. Yeah.
You said I do this like you think they can see.
Yes,
Listen.
what Phoebe did there was go her mouth.
You did a hair flick earlier, as if people could see you.
Hey, that was just for you, babes.
We're keeping that in.
Yes.
No homo.
I just
we
came
are-
out as bisexual.
we are pro homo.
we do make a lot of like
We are pro homo.
we do make a lot of jokes about being gay, but we do mean them with jokes.
I am actually gay, so when I make the joke, I am half joking that I want to date Phoebe, but then also half being like, hey, I am actually gay though. Like, no homo for Phoebe, but homo for other people.
Yeah.
I came out in a doctor's office because, wait, when did I came out? No, that was about me being vegan. I didn't come out to them in a doctor's I came out about my
Mum,
veganism.
Dad, I'm vegan.
It felt like that. They were so judgmental. No, I came out. They were just sitting downstairs, and I realised, for the record, I realised I was gay when I was like 11, or like bisexual. I say I'm gay, but I mean bisexual. I realised I was gay when I was like 11, but I started questioning my sexuality when I was 9, and I came out when I was 12. And I just remember they were sitting downstairs at the dinner table, and I was like, Mum, Dad, I want to date whoever I want to date. And they're like, what are you talking about, you're 12? And I'm like, I mean, if they're a guy, I don't care. If they're a girl, I don't care. I'm open to the idea of loving whoever I fall in love with, no matter their gender. And they're like, I don't believe you, you're 12. And they were like, you're 12, you don't know your own sexuality. But here I am, 4 years later, still bisexual, Mum and Dad. Please believe me now.
I think like another thing that specifically old people do, or like people who are in older generations than us, is sort of say, oh, you can't decide something unless it's the norm. Like,
Yeah.
you can't.
Apparently, if you're 12 years old, you know that you're straight, but you can't
Yeah.
know that you're bisexual.
Yeah, you can't know that you're not normal.
Yeah.
Although normal is.
My mum
Not
believes
bad.
I mean,
that.
I guess since the majority of people are straight, I guess straight is the norm because it's just the majority.
I feel like people nowadays kind of shame people who come out now because they're like, oh, you're just doing it because it's a trend.
Yeah, I do get that. I mean, when I came out, there were 3 other girls in my year that were out. Well, not out at the time. There was 1 other girl, and then 2 other girls came out a year later. So we were kind of like the designated gays in our year. Like, people would go up to us with like their gay questions. Like, I haven't spoken to this girl in like 2 years, and she messaged me last year. A friend from my old school, and she's like, "Hi, I think I'm bisexual. You're the only bisexual person I know." And I'm like, "Okay, hi."
Do you kiss girls?
Yes.
How old are you gay?
But yeah, I feel like back when I did it, I wasn't doing it as a trend because I wouldn't say I got bullied, but like people gave me weird looks. I would get people coming up to me and asking me really inappropriate questions. I got called a faggot multiple times, so I was not doing it for like a trend. But I think as the years gone on, it has become a really sexualized thing for guys to be like, oh, I want a bisexual girlfriend, because then it means they've done stuff with girls. So then I feel like girls feel pressured into thinking that they're bisexual just to become more sexy to guys, and I don't agree with that.
No.
And as someone that came out when it was a really tough time, like, I did not know one other person that was gay apart from my best friend, and she hadn't even told her parents. I knew no one that told their parents they were gay, and I was absolutely terrified of telling them. Luckily they were supportive. Well, they didn't leave me, but they didn't like kick me out or anything. Like, luckily they were supportive, but like, it's really annoying when I know that 99% of people aren't doing it because of a trend, but that 1% that are doing it because of a trend like really hurt me, because like, it's not cool sitting in the back of English class getting called a faggot by someone that you trusted. Isn't a cool thing to do. It's not trendy. I don't like it.
Do you think that it's easier to come out like now, like
Yes.
this year?
Yes, 100%.
I think it is because obviously it's more common, but again, I don't think it is when you're coming out to your parents, because it's still really hard.
It depends on the household.
Yeah, it does depend, but it still seems, when you're in the moment, it does seem really hard.
Oh, it's so daunting. It's like you're sitting there and it's like you have like this weight in your chest and you've been wanting to tell them for so long, but you don't know how to get out the words.
Yeah.
And you're just sitting there and they're just like, yeah, what did you want to say? And you feel like you don't know how to say anything. You feel like all the words are just going to come out wrong, and you probably don't even end up telling them. There were like 10 times I sat my parents down to tell them before I actually told them. And I didn't know how to tell them. And when they asked me, well, how did you realise? I said, well, I took a gay quiz online. And they were like, gay culture is taking gay quizzes online before you know that you're gay. And they were like, what? But I do think it's easier now, because I guess because gay is more exposed to the media. So like people are like, they see gay people all the time, so it doesn't feel weird to them.
May I just say, if you have any like opinions on this, we do have a Twitter page by the time this comes out.
You want to make homophobic comments? Send it to us on our Twitter page.
Don't make homophobic comments.
No, it will. I will attack you.
If you have any pet peeves, if you have any comments on the things we've been saying,
If you want to come out to us, we can be your parents.
Yes. If you want to be anonymous, then
You can't do that on Twitter.
no. But if you want to make an anonymous account, we'll do it.
Ooh.
Can we practice?
But yeah, we'll leave our. What is our Twitter going to be called? The Vibe Check.
PC stands for podcast.
The Vibe Check PC. So sounds
Sounds like we sound like we're the police. The Vibe Check Police.
PC vibe check.
The Vibe Check PC. So go and add it. Leave some. Well, there'll be a thread for every week. Leave the stuff on there. We'll keep updates on there if we're like running late, stuff like that. We might make an Instagram post at the time, but we're not sure yet.
We don't know how our vibes are going to feel near the time.
Yeah. So if you want to keep up to date, then just go ahead and check that out. For the first episode, guys, we're really sorry. It is quite morbid, but if you need anyone to talk to, then just message us on Twitter and we will get back to you for sure, because we don't have hands.
No, we just have depression.
Yeah. Woo. Just high five.
Yeah.
Let's narrate everything that goes on.
So, yeah, if you do need any help with anything, then just give us a message. What do you guys
No, but we need to make a
think
few more
about
like
animals?
Animals.
Great.
Adorable.
10 out of 10.
What are your favourite animals? Like
All
wild
of them.
animals?
Nearest.
I'm obsessed with literally all of them.
Yeah.
Nearest animal is favourite animal.
What's your favourite wild animal? What is your ultimate favourite wild animal?
My spirit animal is a lion.
Oh, is that because you're a Leo?
It's actually not. I took a quiz and it said I was a tiger, but then I did research and I thought I was more like a lion.
My favourite wild animal. Oh, what's yours?
I really like foxes, except for the noise they make when they have sex.
Yeah, and the noise they make
It's
when
very
they're fighting.
aggressive.
It's like
Yeah.
Gosh. Can't be that much fun.
like
Shit. Ow. Sorry for the earache.
R.I.P. headphone users.
Yeah. Rest in peace headphone
you can edit
users.
it. It'll be done in post. It's fine.
Where it's just like a really, just edited down really low, so it's just like.
Yeah, that's
My favourite wild animal is also foxes, but I like wolves because they're just cool, aren't they? They just look cool.
Nifty.
I went to Longley and I saw
Longley?
wolves.
This really sounds like you're saying Langley weirdly.
Longley.
Went to Longley.
It's near Wiltshire. If you have a car that you don't mind getting absolutely battered by monkeys, then sure, go for it.
Oh, it's one of
I've
those
been there,
places.
yeah.
Drive through Safari
Yeah, I've
Park.
been
It's actually really amazing.
Oh wait. Oh no, that's a depressing subject. Do you agree with safari parks? I don't.
I agree. I don't agree with safari parks. I agree with them more than I agree with zoos.
I mean, like, oh, I hate zoos.
I hate
SeaWorld. Now that's a bad boy.
Naughty
boy. Sea
Life. If you're listening to this,
Naughty.
you're bad.
Is it Sea Life over here and SeaWorld in America?
Yeah. Sea
Yeah.
Life.
Okay. Well, screw both of them.
Sea Life, go and sit in the
Naughty chair.
yeah.
And
To
the
make this
naughty
But
less
like forever.
distressing, what is your favourite sea animal?
Oh my god.
I love
Yeah.
dolphins.
That shark that you sent me. the
Oh
other
my
day.
god, he's so cute. I made a wholesome meme of the shark and I love him.
It's a very happy,
my
smiley
favourite.
shark.
We'll put it on the Twitter account
Yes.
so you can see the.
No, I love every animal in existence. I want to marry all of them. They're my favourite. They're all my favourite.
Oh,
I
sorry. I think it's an octopus. It's a kind of octopus or something. And it like is essentially you can live forever because
That's cool.
it can like it grows old, and then once it gets really old, it just reverts back into like a little baby, and it just does that forever.
My favourite sea life animal is a dolphin. I just think they're so cute. Or
They're also very
have you seen the film Free Willy? I don't agree with
No,
what
I
they're doing,
haven't.
but I just think it's really cute when they have the killer whale and he's playing the harmonica and he lifts it's on Netflix now, so you go check it out. He puts his arm up in the air at the end and the whale jumps over it and it's like
Thank you.
obviously it's not real, but I used to think it was real.
Well, we'll talk about films another time.
Oh my
Yeah.
no, I could go off about them. Like
That's gonna be
my
an-
parents literally have to stop me. They're like, Katie, you've been describing the plot of this film for the past 30 minutes now. I don't care.
We're gonna make that another podcast.
It's just gonna be me talking the entire time.
Yeah, that's fine. I have nothing to say about films. So, I think that's the end of this podcast, would you say? This episode of The Vibe Check.
Jazz hands.
Yep. Go check out our Twitter, obviously. I'd also appreciate it if you went and check out my YouTube channel, Phoebe Cates. The journey. Yeah, plug. The journey of the podcast, like this episode, will be on there. So yeah, go check it out and watch the journey of this podcast on there. It's only going to be like a 5-minute video probably.
I think we
Okay, so next week's theme is going to be movies and TV. We'll have a new guest, but that's a surprise. So you better check in next week to see
Check
it.
in.
Thank you.
And for whatever day this is uploaded on, enjoy it.
Yeah, enjoy it. If you're listening in the evening, afternoon, morning, enjoy it.
whatever time it is.
If you're on your way
Go
to
back to
school,
bed.
Seriously, hydrate.
not if you're on your. If you're on your way to school, please don't go back to bed. You kind of need an education. But yeah,
You need to
hydrate.
sleep more.
But hydrate.
Oh, that can be a topic of discussion
Yes,
another time.
another
Hey,
time.
what is more important, sleep or education? You tell us.
Let us know on Twitter. We
Yes.
will see you next week with another episode of The Vibe Chair.
Yeah, this has been your host, Katie Bergen
And Phoebe
Phoebe
Cates. And the production team, Kira Bell and Dagmara.
And plus Arthur when he's not a host.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Say